guys, thanks for joining me back with the Studie project. Just give you a quick rundown on what's been happening. The trunk is pretty much all finished. It's a bit dirty. I've put Sikaflex just to seal up some of the seams, and the metalwork's all finished. The big thing for today was putting the fin on. So the fin, I think I said earlier I wanted to join it on, and that's because, as I've said several times, all the rust started from water getting in under the fin, getting into the boot, and a lot of the metal under the fin was pock marked, sort of, started to rust, and of course those big patches that I did. So aesthetically, I think it'll look a lot better. I've just tacked along here. I'm not going to do too much welding in here because I want to make it easy to take off. There's 2 bolts on the inside of the window that bolt into this panel, and 3 bolts down here, as well as 2 bolts underneath. So the panel's held in position. Obviously there's meant to be a little bit of movement, so I have joined these because they can't move if the fin is welded across these 2 panels. So I haven't finished all the welding, but pretty much that's what I want to do. I've welded, and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to fill it directly across. I'm going to have it go down and up. There was a lovely little sort of curve down here, and I want to keep that with this panel. You can kind of see that line just down here. So I'm going to pretty much do what you can see, that line, and just fill it in with minimal bog, and it'll be lovely and seamless, and most importantly watertight. So there was quite a bit to do with doing this. Of course, I'm not painting. Normally we would paint the panels, and then assemble the car. Doing it like this, I kind of figured I couldn't do it that way. I have to do join the fin on. So I had to paint underneath. I just used some white paint to paint underneath and also the inside of the fin. So on the quarter panel here behind the fin, I've painted. The other thing is, I wasn't sure. You can see there's a little bit of rust here, but that is covered by a big bit of trim that covers that. And I was a bit worried about cutting this out and doing it too nice. And the other thing, of course, on the back side of it, if the weld's a bit rough, it's going to scratch the paint. So I decided to leave that. And you can see in the light, there's a little bit of roughness here. I've got to fill that up a little bit. But I've decided not to weld this on. So these, you can see when I set it up like that, there's a series of bolts in here, and that's what holds onto the trim. So what I'm probably going to do, you can see there's small holes all the way along, and that's where there were small bolts. So I think what I'm going to do is I will bolt that on, but I'm not going to weld this primarily because I don't want to get any distortion in that panel. So I know it's a bit weird to have it welded on one side and not on the other, but it's on very firmly now, even as it sits there. So if I put these little bolts in to pin it, and then these bigger bolts will be basically just to hold on to the trim. So yeah, inside you can see it's all black, and it's been sealed, and it's got a kind of a rubber coat on it. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all we're up to. I know everyone who's done this sort of stuff sort of knows it's a lot of it can be very slow. But when you're doing it for the first time and you've got to sort out how you're going to do things and also learn welding and filling and all that, it's been slower. Plus I'm sort of only doing a day to a day and a half a week on it. So, often it doesn't look like you've done much over a couple of weeks, but you've still put in a lot of hours. So anyway, I feel like we're getting closer and closer to putting colour on. I might have said in the last post, I was half expecting you can paint straight over this epoxy undercoat, epoxy primer undercoat, but I'm actually going to do a 2-pack white primer over it, and that's because the colours that I'm using, it's orange and also a sort of an ivory for the roof. They're going to be better on a white background. So this panel is yet to have the fin put on, obviously, and you can see I've painted along here. So it's not a beautiful coat of paint, but it's just to seal the panel, because it won't be getting painted. So that's just sitting there at the moment. Yeah, tomorrow the fin, I had to do a little bit of touch-up paint on here and also on the fin, so I couldn't put it on today, but just like the other one is, first one's always harder. Now I know what I'm doing. It'll be quite quick to put this on up here, and then a little bit of bog. Most of the rest of the panels are all already done. What I'll do is, when I assemble it, the back, I've got to treat the back all together. So I got the back quarters really good. I only really done a coat of one coat of the epoxy primer on the fin, and I hadn't done any sanding or any filling or anything. So I've got to sand that a little bit better, do a little bit of filling, and make it look nice in context of the the panel it's sitting on. But yeah, all the other panels are pretty good. I will put a quick guide coat over, sand it back again once the fins are on, and then put this white on, and then I've got my colours. Probably next time I'll be able to show you the two colours that I've got. I'm very happy. It's sort of an ivory coloured roof, and yeah, kind of a burnt orange saffron colour that we've chosen for the car. So things going slowly but in the right direction. Hopefully one day soon I'll be able to show you some paint. Anyway, thanks for joining, and I'll speak soon.